Hello, welcome to my channel, and my name is Noah, and today I'm going to be giving you a beginner lesson on guitar. But before we start, if you enjoyed the video, feel free to hit that like and subscribe button and maybe drop a comment saying hi. And so, without further ado, let's get started. So, first things first, you need to know how to hold your guitar. So, I'm just using a Fender Stratocaster electric guitar. So you're just gonna wanna, if you're right-handed, then you're going to put it on your right leg like that. And if you're left-handed, your guitar will be around this way. So you're gonna wanna put it on your left leg like that, okay? If you find that uncomfortable, there's one more way which I don't recommend, but you can try. So you put it like this, in between your legs, facing diagonal, like that, okay? And so here's some basic parts of a standard guitar. So we have the body, which is this here. This white part is the pick guard, so that when you play, it doesn't damage the guitar if you scrape your pick along. Yep. This right here is the neck, this long thing here, yep. And then on the neck, we have the fretboard and the frets. So the frets are the middle part, and the fretboard is the wood. This here is your headstock, which is the head of your guitar, and these are your tuning pegs, which you use to twist and it tunes your guitar. Okay, and if you're using an electric guitar, you'll have pickups, which are these things here with the metal dot. But if you're using an acoustic guitar, you'll have a sound hole, which the big hole in the middle of the guitar where the sound echoes around. Okay. So before we start learning songs, you're gonna want to learn how to read tabs. Okay. So a tab, I'll put one right here. A tab is basically guitar sheet music, but like very simple. So notice there's 6 lines on the tab. Those are your strings, right? And there's numbers on the strings. Those are what fret you play. So this is open, so you don't play a fret if it says 0. So, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when you're playing a song, there's actually these dots. Do you see? Dots here and on the top of your fretboard. So there's dots so that you don't have to count what fret you're on each time. Okay, so the first dot is 3, then 5, then 7, then 9, then 12, then 15, 17, 19, and 21. Okay, one last thing about tabs. When you play, you'd expect for the top one to be this string, right? Wrong. It's actually the thinnest string. So the strings up the top is this one, and the string down the bottom is the thickest one. So if it says 0 on the top one on the tab, you'd play this. And if it says 0 on the bottom one, you'd play this. Okay, so let's say a tab says you're playing on the thickest string, you play 0, 8, 5, 4. It would be like this. 0, 8, 5, 4. Right? And you can do that on any string. So the next string, so on. Okay? Yeah, so now you should understand the basics of reading tabs. So the next part is trying to play the guitar yourself. So if you're using your thumb to strum, you can just push it. And now you don't want to dig under the string and pull it out. You got to push from the top down. So it's this. Yep. If you're using a pick, I like to hold, you can do it however feels comfortable. but I like to hold my pick, so I put 2 fingers on that side, and on the other side's my thumb, so I can play like that. So I go like this. And try not to have your palm on the strings like that. You've got to have them off, otherwise it sounds muted like this. Hear the difference? Not muted, muted. Okay? So when you push down on a fret, you're going to want to push with your finger, and it might hurt at the start, but once you play guitar, your fingers get tougher and it doesn't really hurt later on. So you're going to want to push in between the 2 middle parts. See, look, this would be fret 1. That's the first fret. You play before that fret, right? So that's fret 1. And instead of playing in the middle like that, you're going to want to play as close to the middle part as you can. Okay? If it sounds like this, or this, it means you're not pushing down hard enough, okay? You're going to want to push down quite hard, so it should sound like this, not this. Okay, so now I'm going to teach you your first song. This song is called Smoke on Water. You'll probably recognize it. So this is the first song that I learned, and many, many guitarists learn this as their first song. So you're going to want to play 0. I'll put the tabs up next to me, but it goes like this. On the low E string, which is the thickest string, you're going to play 0, so no frets, and then 3, which is the first dot, and then 5, which is the second dot. So that's the first part. And then you're going to want to play 0, 3, 6, 5, right? So that's the first and second part like this. And then the next part is 0, 3, 5, 3, 0, like this. So I don't mind if you do it slow to start, because I obviously am an experienced guitarist, so I can play it faster, but it should sound something like this. This is normal tempo. Okay, great. Why don't you give that a try on your guitar now? You're doing great so far, and our lesson's almost over. So, if you're finding this too easy, like Smoke on Water, if you're really finding it too easy, then you can try the more advanced way, which goes like this. So how you do that is, instead of using the pick, well, if you're using a pick, you don't use the pick, but if you're using your fingers, keep using your fingers. Instead of pushing down, you pinch, so you go like that, okay? And instead of playing on 1 string, you play on 2 strings, and it's the 2 middle strings, like this. So that's how they actually do it in the song, okay? So it's... And then, if you can, push down both of the strings with a single finger, like that. That's called barring. So it's... But if that's too hard, you can use 2 fingers, like that. So, it's the exact same frets, just on different strings, and using pinching like this. Okay. And one last thing before you go, I'm going to give you an exercise to practice that should get your fingers moving around. Okay? So, it's pretty much 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 on every single string, like this. Right? So, did you notice how my fingers were getting quite spread out? That takes time to build up your finger movements in that way. So if you're finding it too tricky to have all 4 of your fingers on the fretboard at once, you can just go 1 and then take it off and do the next finger, 2, 3, 4. Or if that's easy enough, then good. And you can even do it backwards like this. Okay. Practicing that should make your fingers, it should make it a lot easier to play in the future if you do that often. Alright guys, that's going to be it for today. Thank you so much for watching my video, and I hope you enjoyed. So, hitting the like and subscribe button, I would really appreciate it, and this is my first video, so if you liked it, you could even drop a comment saying so, and I hope this was helpful. See you next time.